to see what that does strength of schedule wise for someone outside of the Power Five. And so seeing the Roadrunners there at number 23 is interesting to me. We're about to talk with Dave Bartoo and get his thoughts on.
Well, last year I think Louisiana Lafayette ended up in the top 15 at the end of the year.
Well, yeah, but that's one. I mean, this is multiple teams.
Come on, two.
Yeah, that's multiple.
Well, I think there was Charlotte was there last year also. Weren't they undefeated? Yeah, pretty much.
In the last one?
Last year.
I'm going to look it
up.
Coastal Carolina.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Coastal Carolina and the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, so it's not the first time there have been two.
No, I find it interesting. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only way they're going to get to where they need to be is play more Power 5 schools. And
that ain't going to happen.
I think, be a good time to put – we played Cincinnati when I was at Alabama twice. And they actually played us well one time.
Very first game I saw Alabama play was against Cincinnati in Legion Field. That must have been 92.
Yeah. We played them
91
in 85 and 86. We played them actually at Cincinnati one game. But in 85, no, it was 84 and 85. I can't remember. I was hurt for one of them. I started the game, but I didn't finish it.
So Eli Gold is set to join us later on here in hour number 1. Then Drudy Armand will be sitting where I am right now because Scott Tyson and myself were heading over to the VBC for some Havoc hockey tonight as the undefeated Huntsville Havoc are in action tonight as they put their 8-game winning streak on the line tonight over at the VBC. So download the app because starting at 7, right at 7, the only way to listen to the Havoc for free is over on Zone 4. But as soon as we're done with Crawdad, as he'll kick on at 7 o'clock tonight, but then as soon as he is done, then we'll join the game in progress. It'll probably be intermission number 1, probably when we're going to join that game in progress. But that comes up tonight right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. Dave Bartoo, College Football Matrix, is set to join us on the other side. We're live here at the End Zone.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Championships are won right here.
0-2.
Come on now.
Chopper out to Dansby. Dansby throws to first base. Is this happening? It is! The Atlanta Braves are world champions. The Atlanta Braves have won the 2021 World Series in 6 games over the Houston Astros. Pure euphoria down on the field.
And in the booth.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at the end zone where everybody scores, as we welcome you back here to the end zone.
Everybody scores when they get to the end zone.
Yep, there's no doubt about that.
Coach Jim Foley.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Mm-hmm. The latest CFP rankings came out, and Georgia, Bama, Oregon, Ohio State, that's your top 4. Cincinnati and Michigan are your first 2 teams out. Dave Bartoo, College Football Matrix, is kind enough to join us to talk a little rankings, a little college football, as we hear him quite a bit on the Chuck Oliver Show from noon to 2 right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Dave, appreciate the time. How are you, sir?
You better be careful double dipping. You know, having guests on different shows on the same radio station, that's like best friend's girlfriend picking up a boyfriend. Your Chuck is coming for you. So I'm just warning you right now.
Now, I did clear it. With Chuck. So.
Oh, okay. Then we're good.
I certainly appreciate it. Your reaction to what you saw ranking-wise last night was what, Dave?
I was like, oh, my God, we almost got it all right. So, you know, if you've heard me on Chuck Oliver, you know that I tell stories with numbers, right? I mean, that's what we are. We're analytics, you know, my company's an analytics team, and we try to create efficiencies and edges for the programs we work for. Okay, so, for example, if we're working for Jacksonville State trying to help them find the new best coaching staff, then we're going to use numbers to reduce risk and maximize opportunity. So with the college football playoff, when Hancock rolled this thing out, in 2014, he laid out how the committee was supposed to rank the teams. So me and my colleague Adam were like, "Oh, that's a challenge to model behavior." And so it was June 2014. We started modeling expectations. in the playoff committee behavior. And we came up with a model, 8 variables. We have never missed the final top 4 in order, ever. So last night, when we applied the model to the whole top 30, it started off a little rocky. You know, I mean, 25 through 21 was pretty good, and 21 through 15 wasn't too bad. And then they got to 12, and we're like, okay, cool. Because last week we got on a hot streak with the 2. 12, we're right. 10, we're right. 11, we're right. 9, we're right. 8, we're right. I'm like, oh my gosh, they are not doing anything except drinking gin and tonics, ranking these teams off of our stuff, right? And then they went the other way. And they went 1, right, 2, right, 3, right, 4. I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm sitting there because I was doing a live broadcast going through it on Twitter and Spaces, and then they got to the Michigan State. I'm like, dude, this is locked, 12 in a row. This is like a new record. It's going to be they had to pretend they had some power. So last night, I was both disappointed and happy, because I'm disappointed because I wanted that 12 in a row, right? Without watching a single game, 8 variables. No eye test, which doesn't exist. But then the committee going, we're going to flex a little bit and mess with everybody. I mean, it doesn't really mean anything in the end, right? Michigan State wins out, they're in. Ohio State wins out, they're in. Who cares? But it was just a little, we all make $100,000 a month flex on everybody with that Michigan State flop.
So I heard you on Chuck riding down the road, and I said, you put it as simple as I've ever heard it and how it really works. And I wanted you to tell our audience the same thing.
Okay.
How they really rank this,
we're
and it
do
makes
like
sense.
A 3-minute education on how to be a playoff committee member without being one, right? Okay? This is, and anybody listening, all your friends are going to think you're smart as hell, okay, because you don't have to watch a game. Now, eye test, understand that don't exist, right? Because the playoff committee, the people on the playoff committee don't have the expertise nor the time to spend 40 hours on an eye test. But see, that's the lie. Neither do the AP people. Neither do the coaches poll. Eye test is crap, so throw it out the door, okay? Don't worry about the eye test. Just do this, okay? So a quality win is a win against any team that is above 500. All right? So right now it's your 9-4 teams, your 6-4 teams, your 7-3, etc. Okay? So that's a quality win. Any FBS team. Okay?
6-6 doesn't count, though.
Huh?
6-6 doesn't count.
No,
right?
500 doesn't count. That's a nothing. Right? It's not a good win. It's not a bad win. All right? So your quality wins are above 500. And so just imagine that. So let's just go with Georgia. Okay? They have 5 quality wins right now as of today. So they have 5 points. Now, they have 2 wins against teams that are in last week's top 25. That's critical. Last week's top 25. So Mississippi State is gone this week. So next week, Alabama loses that top 25 win. If you're following me, okay? So, but Georgia, they got 2 top 25 wins. So they have 7 points. And if you go through, actually, I think they have 8. I think they have 6 quality wins, 2 top 25 wins. Now, if they go through the SEC title game, and let's say they beat Alabama, right? That's going to be a quality win, 1 point. Another top 25 win, 2 points, and a conference championship win, 3 points. So Georgia, if they win out, they are approximately going to finish the season with 11 points. Nobody's catching them. They'll be number 1. Okay? Now, and you go right down through that. Okay, if Ohio State wins out, they're going to have 10 points. If Oregon wins out, they're going to have 9 points. If Oklahoma wins out, they're going to have 10 points. Guess what? If all those teams win out, I'll tell you right now, it'll be Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Oregon. Period. Now, for your listeners, they're like, well, what if Alabama wins out, Dave? Well, then they are going to be number 2. Ohio State will be number 1. Alabama will be number 2. Oklahoma will still be number 3. And Georgia will be number 4 because they will have 9 points just like Oregon. But the difference is Georgia's game control, which is a fancy term for margin of victory, and their strength of schedule will be better than Oregon, Oregon would be 5 in that scenario as well. So that's how. And if somebody has a loss, take a point away, and a bad loss, take another point away. And then just look at everybody's points. Cincinnati can only end up with 6 total points at the end of this. They're done. If you're a casino and it goes, you can bet against Cincinnati, dude, bet the money against Cincinnati because their odds of making this thing should be closer to 0 than anything else right now.
It's going to take a lot of losses.
It is going to take
and some
a
bad
test
losses.
show.
Right?
Dude, it is going to take nuclear winter college football for Cincinnati to get in there. Seriously. We're going to be like, well, what just happened? I mean, everybody's going to have to lose, right? I mean, like, everybody's going to have to lose. I mean, A&M is going to be in the playoffs for Cincinnati to get in. It's going to be like, what's going on? Which, by the way, if you're an A&M fan, that loss to Arkansas or Mississippi State, if you'd have won either one of those games, you'd be number 2 while we're talking right now.
Wow.
So, Dave,
I mean, think about that. Isn't that the saddest story in college football right now? We beat Alabama and couldn't take advantage of it. Oh, right in the Jimmy.
That's not the first time either.
No, it won't be the last. Because all you got to do is go Jimbo Fisher and you go, oh, does he have Jameis Winston? No, he'll underperform.
Talking with Dave Bartoo right now, Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Dave, what is your thought on expanding the college football playoffs?
I love it and I hate it. Okay? And I'll try to cover as many things as I can that run through my mind on that. I don't like all the football games. Like going to 12, you got to win 17 football games. I mean, look, I got student athletes. I know what wear and tear is on the body. I can't imagine the wear and tear on these young men's bodies playing 17 games. I mean, think about it. You could win a national title 20 years ago winning 11 games. We're talking in a few years you got to win 17. You know, if you're a really good team, you're going to play 68 games if you went into every national title game versus 44 just 20 years ago.
It's like 2 more seasons.
Right, so it's bigger and faster. And look, the more games you play, the more advantages you give to the better, deeper teams. Right? I mean, if you were going to go fight Mike Tyson in the 80s, did you want to go 10 rounds or 10 seconds to try to beat him? Of course, shorten the game, right? Take the air out of the ball. You know, you're just trying to get yourself one chance. Now, I do like the idea of reducing committees. I think maybe everybody listening would probably agree with that. If we could help do away with committees, wouldn't that be great? Settle it on the field. So I'm a proponent of conference champions getting in for that because you have your BCS committee. Those weren't computers. Those were 12 guys that made up their own way of view of college football and ran it through a computer. Okay, so you had one that committee, no transparency. This committee, no transparency. So I really like the idea of 5 conference champions getting in. Now, the tweak I'd probably do, because don't we usually argue about, gosh, we could just get better non-conference games?
Yep.
Right? So how about your 3 wildcard teams have the best non-conference record? Right? You go strength of schedule, quality of wins. So that way there's 2 paths, right? So Alabama can schedule brutal 4 games, go 4-0, basically lock themselves into the playoffs, and if they stumble in the SEC, because they're still going to try to win the SEC, right? Everybody tries to win the game. You don't let up. But let's say you stumble in the SEC, you're still in because you aggressively did non-conference. Or vice versa. You scheduled tough non-conference. You couldn't get your feet, but you rallied, and you won the Pac-12 or the SEC or the Big 12. That way, we are removing the committee on 5 of the 8, and the other 3, we're pushing the non-conference schedule.
Or we could just do your point system.
That's a good way to do it.
Right? We could just do the point system.
Right, exactly. How many top 25s did you win? And here's another one, maybe. Okay, I thought about this too. Is instead of the non-conference in September, do it in November. I mean, think about it.
Wow.
How odd.
Yeah.
So the games are fun in September, right? Because you got the BS little AP ranks, which are stupid. We know, right? They don't mean anything. But could you imagine all the non-conference games in November right now? and the teams then and three of the teams are going to come out are going to be playoff teams because of the November non-conference scheduling. That might be kick butt right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Earlier you were talking about the AP. You know they're not watching the games. The only way you can get the writers to watch a football game, all the games, is put a free buffet in front of all the TVs.
Well, but could they eat? But do they even? Let's look at the math, though. Okay, do you guys like watching film and seeing how good a team is? It's not me, okay, but do you guys do that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, you do. So if I gave you film on Alabama each week, how many hours or how many minutes would you have to spend trying to understand if Alabama's changed or how good they were? Half hour, 45 minutes, an hour?
Oh, easy. Half hour minimum.
Minimum. Okay.
Right.
So if you're in the AP or the playoff committee and you have to rank 30 teams in 48 hours, how do you have the time to look at everybody equally?
Yeah.
You can't.
There's no way.
It's a farce.
Yeah.
Right? It's a farce.
No
so,
question.
And how many AP people would you even trust to watch film properly? That's like asking me to watch.
None
film,
I've ever met.
Forget about it.
Not unless there's a free buffet involved.
Right. And it better be
You know
a
why
good
so
one.
many people go to Alabama games? Because they got the best hot dogs in the world. That's why you can't get a
I ain't
press
never
pass
been there.
right
That's
now.
kind of bucket list. The Iron Bowl would be a hell of a trip one day for me. So if the hot dogs are that good, sign me up when I get there.
That's next year. That's 2022.
They're Charlie Wise stamped.
Charlie Wise stamped. Oh, brother. Yeah, that's
yeah,
another
well,
story
I don't
there,
know if
Dave.
he actually ate the whole hot dog or half of it got on his shirt.
No, he ate a lot of hot dogs. I was there.
His son was on the staff down there.
Yeah,
in
and
Tuscaloosa.
my son was too. We ended up in the same box for the spring game.
Oh,
and I
that
showed
probably wasn't
Charlie
pretty.
where the hot dogs were, and that was one happy man.
So the other unintended consequence of an early signing period and all of this high-level college football that we have is early exits from college football coaches. How does this impact in really dealing with ADs and just across the board? How are schools kind of formulating their game plan, if you will, Dave?
Well, it is, with National Signing Day in December, upsetting your staffing in December is brutal, right? So I really feel that programs, you're seeing them get ahead of the curve and head coaches going, look, if I'm going to fire guys, let's do it now, right? Let's get this done. Let's try to, they're already, because like a lot of the guys that have been fired in the last couple of weeks, this has been in the works for a month and a half, right? I mean, they've already been doing their due diligence on the next guy up usually. And I think with the intent of not missing on National Signing Day and having that turnover and having that vacancy holding. I mean, if your offense or defensive coordinator is out in December, how are you recruiting those guys, right? I mean, you might lose an entire year because you didn't react fast enough. So I'm in favor of either moving it back to February or just let kids sign when they want to sign. Right? They want to sign right now? Good. Knock yourself out. Sign right now. That way coaches have the flexibility on changing staff as well. But that's just, that's my opinion there. I didn't like it when they moved it December. I still don't like it, and I'd like it to move it back or just open it up wide open.
It seemed like they did that because these players were coming to school early, and they wanted them
early
to be able
enrollees.
To, and some of them would say they were going to roll one place and then enroll in another one, and then end up, signing in February. So.
Mm-hmm. And then there's you still have 25% of the kids that don't sign in December sign in February. But why not just, I don't know, I think I'd just make it any time.
You know what
right?
they used to have?
If you're going to go to Alabama, if you're going to go to Auburn, if you make that decision, then let's go. Get it done with, and I think it would help. I think it would help programs because I don't like coaching turnover. I understand that, not everybody's a fit and not everybody's a good head coach and not everybody's a good unit coach and this, that, and the other. But I think it's debilitating to programs and hence all of college football if we turn staff over too fast, too frequently, because we're afraid of missing something or being left behind. I think there's a balance in there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but I think there's a better way to do it for the athletes and for college football in general.
There has to be a better way. I mean, it's just the money is so big now that, everybody wants their piece of the pie.
They do, but we also, I think, when you look at the big picture, I think what we all like, my work on analytics for athletic directors and head coaches and agents and everybody, really the ultimate goal is making college football better. So if there's an issue with National Signing Day, if it's causing disruptions across the country with coaching staffs, can we talk about a better way to do things that makes the game we love better as a whole? I think we should. It's just they don't seem to want to address problems until they become too big.
So back in the day when I signed my national letter of intent, you signed a SEC letter of intent on a certain day, which was 3 weeks before National Signing Day. So you could, in that way, there wasn't a lot of inter-school. Like if you signed with Alabama, you couldn't go to Ole Miss or Auburn. But if you wanted to go to Texas and you changed your mind, you could.
Oh, that's interesting.
But you couldn't
I
in
wonder
2
what
years.
the monetary motivation was for taking that away.
It was, I might have been the last year. I don't know why they took it away.
The money. It's always money, right?
Usually it's money.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's usually money. So you got to find out who paid to take it away and why.
So who is in your opinion, is the hottest young coach right now, based on your analytics?
If I was a AD and somebody said you have to take a Group of 5 head coach, you can take anyone you want, but you got to take a Group of 5 head coach. Oh man, would I take Luke or would I take Billy? I think that's pretty tough right there. They've both done a fantastic job. Luke Fickell and Billy Napier have both done a fantastic job in every area that I would want to see. They have done a good job hiring offensive and defensive coordinators. They have done a good job in keeping their scoring efficiency good on offense and defense. They have both improved recruiting dramatically beyond the program's averages for several years. I think it would come down to, I don't know what it would come down to on that. I think I'd have to look at who's coming along with them and how well they fit being able to recruit the region. How well do you know, if I'm an AD, it's like if I'm going to bring all these guys in, the whole staff, who can actually, they're all good at coaching football. So the next step is how good are you at recruiting football to this area? So it might be more dependent on how well they know that area. But I would say those two guys are absolutely on top of the list, and it's everybody else after that.
So do you think both those guys will get jobs this year?
I think that both of them have turned down a lot of jobs already. I think they're being patient and waiting for the right job. I mean, in your neck of the woods, I mean, how many times has Billy interviewed for a job? In the SEC,
I don't think he ever has.
4 or 5 times.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, he has. He has. So I'm thinking Billy is. Okay, so my conspiracy theory is this. All right, here. Shh, don't tell anybody. So the conspiracy theory is. And I don't really believe it that much because I think Nick is just going to coach till he can't coach no more. But the conspiracy theory is if Nick bows out, Billy's just waiting to replace him. He's being groomed to take over for Nick when Nick goes, which would be cool. But I'm kind of now more on that. That was a better idea like a year ago or two. Now I'm thinking Nick's just going to coach until like Bill Snyder. I mean, he's immortal. It'll be like 140 years, and our grandkids are going to be like, yeah, this Nick Saban guy. I'm like, how long has he been there? I don't know. Long time.
So I thought he would be retiring in the next couple of years, several years ago. I gave him I gave him 4 after the Clemson.
Year.
Well, I think in the Clemson game, the first one, I think he was really thinking about retiring. His wife talked him out of it. That's what I was hearing.
Not like him at home. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Well, he said as much when he didn't coach in that the Iron Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Of Miss Terry is kicking me out.
But on Power Firebomb last year,
right.
Danny Sheraton said the over-under is 80.
Oh, Danny's a goofball. Now, I've never been on this radio station, so I got a whole new set of listeners here. So I'm going to say my piece about Nick Saban right now that really nobody ever talks about, right? Because they talk about his recruiting, they talk about his coaching, but nobody really ever gives him the credit of a psychological guru in keeping everybody motivated to win. All right. How many times have we seen the Florida States and the Tennessees and the Michigans and the Texases of the world win a national title and fall off the cliff for 20 years? I think the most underrated aspect is his psychological, his mental drive and focus, not just of himself, but of everybody around him to literally try to take it one game at a time. And he's done it for a decade. And I know he's the greatest recruiter ever. And I know he's one of the greatest college football coaches ever, but I just think he is completely underappreciated for how he handles the psychology of 18 to 22-year-olds and keeps them motivated. That, to me, is something that should be talked about more.
Well, we
totally agree.
We will talk about it more, and we certainly appreciate your time here, Dave. Breaking news, Billy Napier going to replace Nick Saban. You can just go ahead and tweet it out.
Tell anybody. Don't not tell anybody.
Dave, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate the insight and your knowledge, and really would love to have you back on, sir.
Hey, you got my number, man. I try to never say no because knowledge is lack of fear, and I always try to spread it. So if you guys like having me on, give me a buzz. You know where I'm at.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. That is Dave Bartoo. You can give him a follow, like I am, on Twitter at CFB Matrix, and is just a wealth of information and likes to tweet out little obscure facts as well, and tweeted one out earlier today. This one, numbers that make you giggle. UMass and Georgia defensively have both had 528 offensive snaps this year. One has given up 67 points, the other 367 points.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it's just little nuggets like that just you need to follow Dave Bartoo.
67 points. That's unbelievable nowadays and time. It really is.
Yeah.
Don't care who you're playing.
I did talk to Kirby Smart today.
You know, one thing I was going to mention, and of course we ran out of time, but Kirby Smart last spring hired a psychologist.
Yeah.
And you could tell the difference. And I thought it very interesting. And and if you listen to Kirby, he's using a lot of the same words now where he didn't before that Coach Saban uses.
I did find it interesting. I did also talk to Eli Drinkowitz about Georgia. He just faced the Dogs and was really kind of asking, well, here you go. I'm just going to play this little Q&A with the Missouri head football coach.
Seeing what we've seen out of the college football rankings the first 2 weeks, Georgia, the clear number one. I realize you just got through playing them. How good do you think is that Georgia football team, Coach?
I think they're clearly deserving of the ranking they have. They obviously are dynamic in a lot of different positions. Obviously, they're front seven on the defensive side of the ball. And when I say they're front seven, I really should say they're front 14 or 15 because they're too deep, and all of the too deep can play and play at a high level. They've got NFL players on the back end. So defensively, I think they're a complete defense. You know, offensively, they've got the wide receiver number 7 who can take the top off. They've got tight ends who can line up at wide receiver and create mismatch nightmares and man-to-man coverage. They've got an offensive line that can really hold their own. And I think the biggest privilege they have is they have 2 quarterbacks. Both those guys can play and play at a high level. So I think they're a very complete football team.
Oh, I think no question. You know, it's going to be interesting. I think this will be the test for Georgia. Never thought I would say it was Tennessee this week. I think
Who knew?
Georgia's going to win.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be the first. I mean, Tennessee can score points and score in a hurry.
Yeah.
And if they can stop Tennessee offense and shut them down like they've shut everybody else down, that'd be the most impressive thing I've seen all year.
Eli Gold set to join us on the other side of our final timeout. Let's do that right now, Smokey Mike, as we're live here at the End Zone. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A beautiful Wednesday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Maybe some increasing cloud cover through the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening, but that's not going to take away from the day. Still a fair amount of sunshine, temperatures hanging out in the low and mid-70s, dropping into the mid-50s as we head into the overnight. Showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through a good majority of the afternoon on Thursday. Temperatures hanging out in the mid and upper 60s. That opportunity for showers and thunderstorms is associated with the cold front. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at the end zone, along with Wes Neighbor, Steve Moulton back here with you as in a holding pattern at the moment for Nick Saban, who is set to address the media, scheduled here at 6, but that has been a touch early over the last couple of weeks as we welcome in the voice of the Crimson Tide, as we normally do at this time on Wednesday, brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. You can check them out online at FlemingHSV.com. Eli Gold, how are you, sir?
I am well. How are you today?
Doing very well, and let's start with a win, although Bama fans aren't acting like it was a win, but nonetheless, a win over LSU on Saturday. What were your thoughts and impressions of the win on Saturday, Eli?
Well, obviously it wasn't the prettiest of games, there's no question. But you know what? That's some of the things you look for from a championship quality team. Unless you're having one of those magical years, as Bama has had in the past, or like Georgia is having this year, sometimes you have to pick yourself up off the canvas like a heavyweight boxer and start throwing jabs and wait for that opportunity for the one big right cross or something. I thought the team found a way to win, and that's important. It wasn't pretty. 6 rushing yards obviously was most unusual, to say the very least. But, it was what it was. The team got the W, and you live to play another weekend. So, there were things that I thought did go well, some things that, obviously Will Anderson played well. I thought Bryce in general played well. There are some things that clearly need to be worked on still, but the team found a way to win.
Some of the strengths early in the year haven't been our strengths of the late, Eli. And I think that's why people are so concerned is they know this team needed to get better. Coach Saban said they needed to get better. And they don't seem to be – now he's using the word consistent because we've seen them get better, but they're not doing it every quarter, every week. And it's looking for that something to turn them on for 4 quarters. We've seen it once this year against Mississippi State, and it's all. I'm in awe when I see it. But again, you're right. I've been sad a lot of times, and you can't after that loss. And winning was awesome, and the way I thought the defense fought at the end of the game was awesome.
Yeah,
Will
exactly
Anderson
right.
was unbelievable.
It really was. He was. Yeah, Will was just and the guy's only a sophomore. Wes, remember that. He's only a sophomore, Will Anderson. So that bodes well for the future. But no, you want to see them play that Mississippi State style of game that they played against Mississippi State on a regular basis. But I think it'll come. You still have the very best coach in football pulling the strings. There's no question about that. So it hasn't always worked out the way everybody wants, but it's a different team. They lost over the last 4 years. We have lost so much talent to the National Football League that stuff will eventually catch up with you. And I think they've done okay. They really have. And again, they're 8-1. You can't argue with that. So,
it's awful, Eli, and it's just awful.
Yeah.
8-1.
Terrible. It's terrible, right? It's terrible. But that's the way it is.
I heard the crowd has been amazing this year. Maybe they were a little flat too at the beginning of the game, but they kicked it up and really were a factor.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a good game. It wasn't pretty, but when you walked out of there, you had a W on your back, and that's what it was all about.
So, from last year to this year, have you noticed just a difference energy in the building of that crowd with what you had last year with hardly any crowd, Eli?
Yeah, there's certainly more because there are more people, and yes, there is more energy. And that's important because you feed off of that energy. So yeah, things are it's a better atmosphere. Everything is good, and this week hopefully folks will show up for a less than attractive opponent, but hopefully people will come out. What I do personally on a weekend like this is give tickets to people who have never been able to go to a game before, and let them experience Alabama football in person. But yeah, the atmosphere was good last week. I thought the fans responded as they did against Tennessee, and we're going to need that against Arkansas a week from Saturday. So hopefully everybody will just continue to support this woebegone 8-1 number 2 team in America.
Trying to talk Eli off the edge here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. So hearing a lot from Coach Saban about playing consistent. It does feel like, in terms of how this schedule falls, that this is a perfect time to play a team like New Mexico State this weekend, Eli.
Yeah, you work on guys, you give them playing time. I'm sure we'll see a good bit of Trey Sanders this week, more than we've seen of late, maybe more of Trayshawn Holden and so on, guys who have already shown that they can play well and may get a little more playing time. So, yeah, it's a good time to play a non-conference game. But again, you've got to play. And now I'm not going to tell your audience that New Mexico State is a better team than Alabama. Clearly they're not. But they do have some decent statistics in some areas. And granted, it's against different opposition. I get all that. But you can't just roll over and play dead. For these guys from Las Cruces, this is their bowl game. This is their national championship game. This is, my goodness, we're playing Alabama in front of 100,000 people. They will take nothing back with them to Las Cruces. They will leave every scintilla of effort that they have on the field in Tuscaloosa. So you'd better be ready for whatever they throw at you, regardless of what quality of the play that they throw at you.
Well, last night began basketball, much to the chagrin of West Neighbors. What a start for the Alabama basketball team, and seeing the likes of J.D. Davison and a few other new faces was impressive, Eli.
It was impressive on both sides. I worked the women's telecast, and they were up at one point by 75 points on Charleston Southern.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they just looked very, very impressive. And then, of course, the men I thought played well last night. For a first game out of the box, you got to be very, very pleased, yes. And obviously, Nate Oates has been talking about some magnificent recruiting. According to all these services, the number 3 recruiting class in America. So, yeah, things are very, very exciting in Coleman. I thought it was great to see so many students there last night. You know, they packed the student section. It really was wonderful to see.
Let's put a pause right here. Coach Nick Saban is addressing the media right now.
Explosive movement, it's in the weight room, on the practice field, or whatever. And I think that's really, really important that it shows the players how their mindset can affect their performance. So if you go out there and perform relative to how you feel, which I would think that most football players at this point in the season don't feel perfectly well, but you have to have the kind of mental toughness to be able to persevere through that, still push yourself to improve and get better so that you can become a better player and evaluate and actually create more value for yourself, and also creates value for your team. And so that's really, really important for us to be able to not practice how we feel, not have some external factor have to be a motivator for us to feel like we need to practice and improve. And we have to get everybody on our sort of bought into that concept so that we can perform well and improve each and every day in terms of what we do. You know, we're looking forward to the game this week. Obviously, it's an early game on SEC Network. We still want our fans to get up bright and early and be here in Bryant-Denny Stadium and create a great atmosphere for our players. I mean, the last 2 games, I think the fans in the Tennessee and LSU game have had a tremendous impact on the outcome of the game in terms of how it affected our players and how it affected the team that we were playing. So that's something that we really appreciate and hope will continue in a very positive way. You know, tomorrow's Veterans Day, and I'd like to wish and thank all the veterans who have served our country, made our country a safe place for all of us to live, and one of the, you know, greatest countries in the world. Your service is certainly appreciated, and I would just like to thank you for that and wish you all a blessed day for all the things that you did and the sacrifices that you made. I know Cecil is struggling a little bit right now health-wise, and I just want him and his family to know our thoughts and prayers are with him. He's represented the journalistic profession in about as a professional way as anybody that I know. And we certainly are hoping that he has a speedy recovery.
With that, we'll start with Nick Kelly. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier today about competition at center. What kinds of things do you look at for that position when you evaluate players at center?
Well, it's no different at center than every other position. You know, you got to do your job. You got to block the right guy. You got to be able to finish the block. You got to play the technically so that you have the opportunity to have the best chance to be successful at the position. I know everybody tries, but you know the performance has got to be evaluated in a way that we're fair and honest with every player that's competing at every position. And if somebody can play better, then you know that's what we have to evaluate and sort of decide and determine.
Go to Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, how have you seen the offensive line and the running backs respond this week in practice, and what's been your message to them?
Well, I think that, you know, my message has been, you know, all those guys want to play better. They're anxious to try to improve and play better. And, you know, we need to do a better job with them so that they have a better opportunity to play better in terms of preparation. They have to make sure they're doing and do in the right way so they can do that. I think they've responded well for the most part, and this has got to be an opportunity for us to improve and get better. I think everybody in the organization wants to help everybody on our team, get better. And when you have a segment of the team who is a little frustrated with their performance, I think it's especially important to be supportive and do everything that we can to help those guys, play better. But they have responded well. But I think we need to play better, as an entire team. I mean, there's not any part of our team that can improve. I think, and that's got to be the focus for everybody on our team.
Go to Charlie Potter.
Hey, Coach, just sticking with the O-line and center, just how has Darian Dalcourt progressed this week with his injury?
He's still day-to-day. I can't call right now, but if he's not able to do some things in practice tomorrow, he dressed out today. He didn't really do a whole lot. If he can do some things tomorrow, then, maybe he can play in the game, but we'll have to just wait and see.
Go to Aaron Suttles.
What would you hope for Jaleel Billingsley's contribution going forward? And do you think the offense has missed his production recently?
Yeah, but, I mean, when a guy has opportunities, he's got to take advantage of them. He's got to play fast. Can't drop the ball. So, yeah, do we miss his production? Yeah, but, when he gets the opportunities, he's got to take advantage of it, and he's got to play fast. And he's certainly a guy that, can help us. In some kind of way, we need him to, sort of go out there and play like he's capable of playing. And that's certainly our responsibility as coach, is to try to get him to do that.
Got two more. We'll go to Tony.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the young guys at center. What have you seen from Seth McLaughlin, and what does he offer at that position?
Well, Seth would be the next guy up. He's made a lot of improvement, plays really well. He's really smart. He's tough. He's competitive. And, he plays with the intangibles that we're looking for at that position.
We'll finish up with Sam. Sam Gordon.
Hey, Nick, I know you touched a little bit on Henry's situation last week, but I was wondering if you could speak to who he was during his time at Alabama and the way he represented the program during his tenure there.
Right. Well, first of all, we have a tremendous amount of compassion for all the victims, in this tragic affair, the families of the people who were affected, and, our thoughts and prayers are with them. This was a sort of, for me, knowing Henry Ruggs as a player here, who never had any issues, was a first-class citizen, was a guy that did everything right. I don't think he was ever in my office once for having an issue or a problem, whether it was in school, as a person off the field, or as a player. I hate it for him, but we're also very sensitive to the decision that he made and the catastrophic consequence to other folks that it created, and what it's going to create for him in his future as well.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
That is Nick Saban. Eli Gold, thank you so much for holding with us through that press conference. And
no problem.
What a fantastic message there in the opening comments. And I mean, I'd be remiss too if I didn't want to give a thought and a prayer to Cecil Hurt right now as well. The tweet came out earlier this afternoon about him battling pneumonia.
Yeah, I wish him the very, very best. I hated to hear that, but I hope and pray that he recovers very quickly and and can get back to sitting behind the computer screen and turning out the words that he has done so very well for so many years.
What can we expect on Hey Coach tomorrow night, sir?
Tomorrow night we've got Tom Rinaldi as our media guest. I guess he'll be in town to do some kind of a feature for Fox. So that'll be good to have him in town. Wes Hart, the soccer coach, will be the other coaching guest. Of course, his ladies have made the NCAA tournament, and they will be playing against Clemson in the opening round. So that'll be nice to have him along. And, of course, Coach Saban will be with us tomorrow night. He'll start at 7 o'clock. So that's how things are shaping up. But Tom Rinaldi's always wonderful when he's on the show, so I'm looking forward to that.
I thoroughly enjoyed Holly Rowe last week.
Oh, she was spectacular.
Fantastic.
I mean, what a sharp woman, and the investigation that she does and the studies that she has initiated on her own and so on, very, very impressive.
Yeah.
I miss Tom Rinaldi's stuff he used to do for ESPN. It was a lot of classic things.
Yeah, and Tom still does work obviously for Fox, but we don't see him in the SEC. We don't see him as much around here for whatever reason. But, he'll be he's wonderful. Coach Saban loves him, so I'm sure we'll all have a nice conversation tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for your time as always, and we look forward to visiting with you next week, sir.
Sounds good, fellas. Take care.
That is the voice of the Crimson Tide, Eli Gold, and is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. You can check them out online at FlemingHSV.com. I do owe you this as well. After Nick Saban press conferences.
Nick Saban press conferences on 97.7 ESPN The Zone is brought to you by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Our locations in Athens and Huntsville can serve your driving needs. Whether you need a car for 2 days or a passenger van for 2 weeks, we've got you covered. Rent local, rent McCurry Van and Car.
All right, so before I leave and go over to the VBC, I am getting a request about a certain Q&A that I had with Mike Leach. I'm just going to queue up what everyone wants to hear about pineapple on pizza. I do have one a more off-the-wall question that I got from a listener of mine, Coach, and that is your stance on pineapple on pizza.
Against it. I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's like bad mixed metaphors. No, pineapple doesn't. And I like pineapple too, but it doesn't belong on pizza.
So there you go.
I'm all over that. I agree. I like
110%.
pineapple. Yeah, I like pineapple too. Pineapple's a dessert. It's not a main course.
That is Drew DeArmond, who is about to take over. We have officially started hour number 2, Drew DeArmond. So just know that you got 2 breaks here this hour, and this is the producer's side of me coming out, and really appreciate you coming in, Drew. And
Steve's like a guy leaving his kids, right? He's going to give you the babysitter all the
instructions,
and then give them to you again.
Something like that. A lot of conversation, Drew, about the offensive line with Nick Saban right there, particularly the center position. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think Darian Dalcourt's the best player. It just depends if he's available. I mean, Seth McLaughlin could get a look. I mean, I don't think that the best option is Chris Owens. I think they should tweak the offensive line down the stretch. Now, I've had people tweeting at me all day wanting 3 or 4 starters changed, which is insanity. And like I told them, I mean, this is an Alabama offense that's averaging 473 yards per game up until last week. And, again, they did not play well. We understand that. But it's not time to, get rid of the coordinator or make wholesale changes. I think some tweaking needs to go on. And, matter of fact, Wes, I was on our good friend Jay Barker's show this afternoon, and he asked me a question through me and you about what the thoughts were on the offensive line, and I told him that you were a little concerned about some of the techniques, maybe the slide techniques that they're using.
Slide it's really more of a scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a scheme, not exactly a technique, but a scheme, and there's so many different techniques, and I think that our guys, when they're in position, do well.
Right.
It's when they're out of position a lot, and it's more with their feet that gets them out of position.
Yeah.
And then anyway, go ahead.
Then I was just telling them, when you lose a first round pick like an Alex Leatherwood Evan Neal has to shift from the right to the left side, and then you have a new right tackle, and then you have lose the best center in the country and Landon Dickerson. It's just, again, Alabama fans are spoiled, but it's not a video game. Sometimes these guys that come in as 5 stars are not ready.
No, that's no
sometimes,
question.
Sometimes they need a
hardly
year.
ever.
Yeah, and
more times than not, they're not ready. I mean, you can't be ready.
And
these are men. These guys you're playing against are grown men, and you got to be freak strong.
Yeah.
To come and play young. That's the difference. You got these guys have been working out for 3, 4, 5 years, and most of them don't get to college when they're 18. Defensive linemen, especially.
Well,
they can't count the 3. That's why they play defense.
They just. And you don't – the Jonah Williamses, the Cam Robinsons, even the James Carpenters out of junior college, they don't grow on trees. No. Evan Neal played guard as a freshman, so there's no guarantee that they're going to come in ready to play.
And the problem when you got a tackle is, especially a left tackle, they're kind of on an island.
Yeah.
You need a center or a guard that can get everybody on the same page.
Right.
Because if you're left tackle – You're 20 yards away from the damn right tackle, or 15.
Yeah.
So you can't talk to him. So the leader has to be somebody in the middle. It makes a big difference.
It does, and Dalcourt had not played much this season. It makes the struggles of Chris Owens all the more frustrating. And it's not, as I've said about Owens, I'm not piling on him. I think he's trying hard. He just is not up to the caliber of what Alabama's been used to at the position, and.
He's young too. He still can. He's a sophomore.
Who? Chris Owens?
No, Chris Owens just had practice.
Yeah, and Dalcourt, Dalcourt is just a junior, but I think he's got a COVID year, so he's still a relatively young player, and so that's the thing. You have to understand that. I don't think he's been that bad.
No, he makes mistakes, but he's his first year.
Right.
I mean, let's. The center 2 years ago was the same center that was. A great center. He wasn't as good either.
Yeah,
I mean, he got a lot of penalties.
Landon Dickerson, he certainly did. He got holding penalties. He got some personal
foul penalties that were huge. And LSU lost the 2 years before, and he changed his attitude to get back on the field. And again, there are a lot of little things. Some of them are scheme. Coach Saban said the word scheme. I know exactly what he's talking about. He said that they had some schemes they had to change, because what's going to happen is really all LSU did was run the stuff that Texas A&M did.
Yeah, copycat.
They did. I mean, and some different things off of it, but still it was the same, and they were all out zero coverage, and they knew that Alabama would have trouble getting the ball off with the way they pick it up. You can't run that scheme against those looks. And it's an easy check and an easy way to stop it. Now, it's not like you if you hadn't practiced it, it could be a little difficult.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's probably some of the things they've been working on this week in order to get some things done, no doubt about that, and to get better. And as Coach Saban has said, now we got to go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Shane Sean waiting to join us. Shane Sean, welcome back to The Drive. We're here live at the End Zone on University Drive.
How are y'all guys doing?
We are pretty well. We're doing pretty well, man. What's up?
Well, asked you and Wes, what do y'all think are the chances that just here in the next game or so, everything just clicks with this Alabama team and they turn into a totally different team and actually start playing good football?
Well, it wasn't so long ago they destroyed Mississippi State and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I know that.
I think they're capable of it. I think it's just preparing. What you hate is, Shane Sean, is in the past.
Yeah.
After the break, Alabama's looked like a different team. Unfortunately, they did look like a different team, and it wasn't good this time. So
but
it's one of those
any
things
Nick Saban
where
team I've ever seen, they've always come out after a bye and played great.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And then they go on and contend for championships. So, my deal is I think this team's just a box of chocolates. Yeah. And they don't play 4 quarters, and they don't have a great leader on offense. It doesn't look like. The quarterback's young. Mm-hmm. He's very good. Without him, we'd have 3 losses.
Exactly.
And listen, the throw he made right before halftime, it was incredible. I mean, he was running backwards when he threw that touchdown pass.
To John Mechie, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. tight window.
Yeah, I mean, tight window, running. He was running backwards when he threw it.
I honestly didn't even see it. I just saw him flick his wrist, and I was like, who caught it? I was in the press box, so I couldn't tell until I saw the replay.
You got to go to that game?
It was
That's
incredible.
awesome.
Yeah, we were in the press box Saturday night, and we'll be there bright and early for brunch on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's going to be an 11 o'clock game, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do you know how to tell?
Anyway, Shane Sean, so I think it's possible, but, I just don't think that this team, and I've said it for a while, if they win a national championship this year, I will be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, they just lost so much. And I will say this, though. You can look at it at the other side of the coin. Alabama's come out of the bye before, played very well, beaten some awesome LSU teams, and then peaked and then not played as well and not finished. Maybe this one can follow the other script and play their best football. You never know.
No, you don't know.
It's a box of chocolates thing, which is a perfect analogy by Wes.
I mean,
well, do you know
if they play 4 quarters, they can beat anybody in the nation.
Do you know how to tell when a coach is not a very good football coach? What the first inkling is?
What's that?
When you don't get asked questions about football and all you get asked is about food and candy.
Well, I will say this. Wherever Mike's been, he's kind of been at these places that were not considered blue blood programs. Now, he did get Texas Tech to number 1. We should remember that about a decade ago when they beat Texas.
It took him longer than normal, but he has produced some good football teams in lackluster places.
Mm-hmm.
But
like I said when they hired him, he's going to win some that you won't think he's going to win. He's going to lose some. He should.
I can't stand it. I know everybody likes to listen to him in his press conference. I can't stand it. It's blah blah blah.
Well,
I hate candy corn. Man, that gets old. Ask him about football. No, I'm not getting on the Steve about it. I don't blame him for doing that. I mean, everybody else does.
Steve's ballistic over him, though, right?
Oh, yeah. And I wanted him to come back to the league, too, because he is just a unique guy. I mean, you can ask him a football question, like if you ever want to get him really going, ask him about Tyler Watts and recruiting him back when he was at Kentucky. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, he's got some stories when he was with Hal Mummy.
Oh, dude, I could probably sit down and talk to him for days about anything but football.
Yeah.
But he's just, I don't know. I couldn't listen to more than 2 or 3 minutes of him at a time, I don't think. Well, guys, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. And
thanks, Shane
for
for calling.
Because I think that they can click and get better.
Yeah, there's no doubt they have upside. No question about that. Thank you, Shane Sean. We're going to go back out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Reese waiting on us. What's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
What's up, David Reese? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Hey, so I want to take it in a slightly different direction today because, first, y'all have already covered everything about the LSU game. I mean, it was ugly, but Bama won. And, if any team in America has the pure talent to beat Georgia on any given Saturday scenario, I think it's Alabama. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. I mean, Alabama still has to get past Arkansas and Auburn. But something hit me today. I was listening to a national radio show, and this is really to kind of call in about how Nick Saban really is the GOAT, and it's not just on the field. Somebody earlier talked about his psychology. I was listening to a national show today, and they were going over the top 4 of the college football playoff, and this guy was Joel Klatt saying, we need to expand to 12, we need to expand to 16 because nobody cares about anything besides the top 4 of the playoff. And I'm thinking, didn't Nick Saban predict that about 10 years ago? And the reason,
yes,
and I know that exactly, and I know there was a movement for a playoff before this happened. But in 2011, when Alabama lost to LSU and then came back and beat them in the national championship based on the BCS formula, that's when everybody lost their mind and like, we got to have a playoff, and like the very next, 2 years later, we have a playoff. And again, that was Nick Saban, kind of, his team's causing that. And now it's so funny to hear Joel Klatt talk about. He didn't come out and say BCS, but it's like, why not use the BCS formula to create the playoff? And I'm like, yeah, anybody with a brain has been saying that for a long time, but I just want to give credit to Nick Saban, like, not just what he's done on the field, but he's predicted that the playoff would make bowl games. Really, nobody would care. It's not like it was 20 years ago when you wake up on New Year's Day and you watch football all day.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not even close. And they freaking changed the BCS, the playoff formula, because Alabama came back and beat LSU in the national championship in 2011. And if you just think about the stamp that man has put on the game of college football, I just don't know if we're ever going to see anything like it again. And again, I'm talking as much off the field as on the field. And Alabama's been in just about every college football playoff besides maybe one or two. And he's the one sitting there going, y'all are going to regret this. Y'all are going to regret this. And here the national media is saying, this sucks. We need to expand. And Saban's like, yeah, I told you that 10 years ago. So I just wanted to point that out. I mean, he's the GOAT for so many different reasons, and it's not just on the field. And I was just curious on your thoughts.
Well, I think you're right in a lot of ways. It goes back to his ability to change and be 2 steps ahead of everyone else. He knew he had to change his offense in 2014. And after 2015, he started changing his defensive philosophies as far as the way he recruited at certain positions for more mobility and speed. And then, of course, with the way the game is changing with NIL. He already had meetings with everybody within the organization. They were already prepared for it. They didn't get caught off guard with it. He basically ordered everyone in the building, from what I was told. He said, look, we are not going to fall behind on this. We are going to be on top of this. We're going to handle this. We're not going to let it define us. And so, and put Alabama, behind the 8 ball, so to speak. So he's as well-rounded a coach as I've ever seen. He's the best I've ever seen at building a staff, because I don't know, that's got to be some sort of record to every year as a coach, 14 years in a row, you don't have the same guys. Because Dabo, he kept his guys for a long time. Bobby Bowden kept his guys for a long time. Nick Saban never does. And the ultimate thing you always hear, and you talked about it as far as what Texas A&M did to Alabama, and then LSU copied it. It's a copycat sport.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about that. I think he's just kept it fresh, and as the times change, he's looked for different things and has kept the program fresh. And if he senses somebody resting on their laurels, then he replaces them. Really, is what happens.
I mean, in so many words, that's kind of what happened with Scott Cochran, because he knew he needed to change his strength and conditioning philosophies. And Coach Cochran did a great job for 13 years at Alabama, but he realized we've got to do something different. And that's why Coach Cochran took the job at Georgia on the field and left and went into another direction, because Nick Saban just felt like, if we're going to stay ahead of the curve, we got to build this sports science center, and then I've got to go get 2 guys that I know can teach what's going on now today.
And when that happened, Coach Saban was kind of scrutinized a little bit.
He was.
Thinking, hey, what his main guy left him, but I think that was
mutual.
Very mutual.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll get off the air and let somebody else talk. Along the lines of what happened with Cochran, and yes, Drew, I mean, Cochran was the man for so long. I mean, when you go to Bryant Denny, the Cochran hype video before kickoff, and then it's like, we're hiring who from Indiana? And they've turned out to be amazing. And you mentioned changing the defense. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott making Trey Priest look like, hey, the 250-pound middle linebacker thumper can't work anymore. He adjusted there. And I just think, and like today in the press conference, just having the, not self-awareness, but just wherewithal to mention Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans, and mentioning Cecil, it's like, he's not a robot. He's just brilliant. And for so many reasons, off the field and on the field, he really is the GOAT. And just listening to national radio today talk about the influence that he's had, I just felt the need to call and say that. So enjoy the show. Y'all enjoy some pizza tonight if you know what's good for you. And
I did last week, man. It was outstanding.
I know you did. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yes. Thank you. And I even had some left over that I kept in the refrigerator for a few days, and it was still good. So outstanding pizza here at the End Zone, no doubt about that, along with all their food and great customer service and great environment here, and we appreciate their sponsorship of ESPN 97.7 The Zone, no question about it. But I know we need to take our first break. When we come back, still go to your phone calls, 256-576-4977. You can join the conversation here at the End Zone on University Drive.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Valley Equipment Rental. Pretty self-explanatory name, no? Tom Abraham here. And look, Valley Equipment Rental is all over the Tennessee Valley, and they rent equipment, all kinds of equipment, and not just to the contractors out there, but to you, the general public, as well. Need a skid steer or an excavator? Well, they've got over 40 units to make sure they've got one for you. From huge boom lifts to miscellaneous hand tools, it's at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Parkway. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. More on that to come.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that. Chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama A&M University football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com and view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see ya in the Kia. Go Bulldogs!
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Everybody knows the fun begins when you get to the end zone, where you can enjoy half-price apps every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, half-price burgers every Tuesday, plus late-night pizza specials and a spectacular menu that includes jumbo wings, half-pound burgers, Tex-Mex, and an incredible selection of craft beer, and plenty of big-screen TVs. It's all happening at the end zone, 1851 University Drive, 2030 Cecil Ashburn at Jones Valley Station, and coming in early 2022, Mid-City End Zone at 1115 McMurtry next to the Target Shopping Center.
Welcome back to the end zone here on University Drive. I'm Drew DeArmond in for Steve Moulton. Steve Moulton, Scott Tyson going to bring you Havoc Hockey tonight after we're done here. But I'm here with Wes Neighbors. We've been talking some football this hour. And Wes, I was on the way over here listening to Dave Bartoo in the first hour. That was some very interesting things he had to say. He's so connected with the college football matrix, especially when it comes to coaching searches and everything. And he hit it on the head in 2018. He was the guy that said Alabama wouldn't win the national championship because he didn't think they had first-level coordinators. Even though Michael Oxley had a great year that year and I think won the Broyles Award, then Toss DuPois was the defensive coordinator. Alabama fell short in the national championship game to Clemson. We remember that. But he's a guy that knows coaching and the intricacies of it and the searches and things. Like I heard him talking about Billy Napier and what he's done. Your son now part of his staff and both of your sons, Connor and Wesley, at Louisiana. And he's a guy that Billy Napier's had opportunities, 4 or 5 of them, to move on and stayed at Louisiana. And basically Dave Bartoo confirmed that tonight.
Yeah, everybody knows this. He had opportunities. I don't know. So having watched his games,
right?
Listen, he has done an amazing talent evaluator. They've got some talent. They have some talent.
Oh, he's been turning out some NFL guys. They've had their name called quite a bit from University of Louisiana since he got there.
A couple of guys there, transfers from different places. He has a feel for getting those guys, and they play hard, not always smart, hard, and a lot of they've had some tough turnarounds, play a lot of Thursday games.
Yeah.
They've played 4 Thursday games and a Tuesday game.
Oof.
So
yeah, that's rough.
So it can be kind of a different kind of schedule. That all being said, I think he's still a young coach, feeling his way through, and I think he'll go to the right spot when he's ready, because where the town he lives in is they have a lot of the good fan support. Not great fan support. I'd say very good fan support, though. And it's a city of 250,000 people, which you wouldn't think, and has a lot of great restaurants and a lot of affordable housing, right?
Yeah. And if you're Connor neighbors and you like to hunt and fish,
it's a perfect place, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. And I admire him for kind of being, cautious and I call it that because, again, he could have taken a job after the first or second year at Louisiana, but he's taken a look and he's been interviewed for a few jobs and decided to stay put and that's a different way to do it because so many of these younger coaches are just looking for the next job, and he has been very, very meticulous with what he's been looking for.
He has young kids.
Yep.
He likes where he lives, and you know, not to say that they, you know, I know all the coaches there on the staff are have their head up, wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see, and I'm wondering what's going to happen in Gainesville because Dan Mullen, he's been doing so many, you know, peculiar things throughout this season. Now we've seen him let go of a couple of, you know, John Hevesy, who was with him for 20 years, the offensive line coach, Todd Grantham. It looks like he's trying to save himself.
Well, I think Todd Grantham, the biggest mistake he did was keep him from last year.
Yeah, he should have made a defensive coordinator change at the end of last year.
There wasn't synergy with him. I think Todd Grantham's a fine coach. You know, to me, Mullen's problem is he doesn't come across as a nice guy. I've never met him.
Aloof guy, yeah.
You know, well, he comes across aloof. That's obvious,
right?
But I don't know if that's nice or but he comes around like a total
know-it-all
turd.
Well, I'll you know,
not know-it-all. I would say turd.
Well, both of us like Matt Wyatt a lot, and he's come on your
Right.
show. He's come on my show. I'll never forget in Hoover once he left to go to Florida, and Mississippi State had hired Joe Moorhead. He came on our show and he told us, and it's been 110% correct. He's like, the first thing you're going to realize with Dan Mullen is he's never wrong. He's always got an answer for you, and he never takes the responsibility. The biggest thing and the biggest way I see that is when they lost to Kentucky, and then he's like, well, we did fine on offense. We outgained them 382 to 211, but you lost.
Yeah,
doesn't really matter.
And there's reasons why you lost, and you address those and you try to correct those, and they haven't.
Yeah,
and it's been they have a team